DreAllDay.com. DreAllDay.com. Someone asked me a really good question the other day. They were saying, Dre, what do you do when, let's say, you got a person who's like talking bad about you, putting out negative information about you to the world, and you're the type of person who you might have an aggressive type of frame of mind. You're the type of person who somebody's talking shit about you, you go find them and beat their ass, beat them up for talking shit about you. And that's just the way that you handle it. But this is what they followed up by saying, but you know that these days, this person specifically said, this person who has been talking shit about me, I know if I go punch him in his face, he's gonna call the cops on me and, you know, get me in legal trouble, and I don't want to deal with that. So how do I deal with this individual? And the answer that I gave him is the answer that I'm going to give you, and this is something that you could apply to anything in life. It doesn't have to be one individual person talking bad about you, and it doesn't have to be you thinking about beating somebody up. But I know there are people out there who think like that, because that's our instinct, especially males. Our natural instinct is when we see someone challenging us, especially if they're doing something negative, all right, let me just beat them up and his handle is done. But we know that these days things are a lot more democratic. We know that these days people is snitching. We know these days people is calling cops instead of actually fighting. And there's a new generation of people. The younger generation of males don't think the same way that people from, let's say, if you're age 30 and over, how we were taught to think. And not everybody, but you understand what I'm saying in general. So what you need to do is you got to learn to flood out all the negativity with your own success. And this is a principle that you can use in anything that you do in life. When there's any kind of negative energy, whether it's something that you're feeling yourself internally, whether it's something coming from another person who's talking bad about you, whether it's a situation that happened that didn't go the way that you wanted it to, and you're trying to get over that situation, the most important thing you need to do is create your next success. This is like in sports. Those of y'all who play sports, if you're a baseball player and you struck out your last 3 at-bats, you can't bring that mentality about those strikeouts to the next at-bat, because then you ain't gonna be ready to hit the ball when the pitcher throws the pitch. You ain't gonna be ready for your next at-bat and doing something positive. If you're a basketball player and you turn the ball over last time you had it, you can't carry that with you to the next possession, because then you're gonna turn it over again. Or if you have a bad game, you can't carry that energy with you to the next game, because then you're gonna have another bad game. And before you know it, you've created this cycle, and then you got to be on the bench because you're not helping the team anymore. So you got to flood that out first. So the first thing is getting rid of whatever happened last time. You got to push that out. And the easiest way, I mean, a lot of people try to say just forget it, but it's hard to just forget it, right? When that's the last thing that happened. So the most important thing you got to do is get back on that horse, get back in the game, get back up to bat, get the ball again on the basketball game, and do something with it so you have a reason to push out that negative thing, because you replaced it with a positive result. And the way that you do this in life is, instead of going in wanting to beat somebody's ass or getting in a fight, which again these days we know could get you in bigger trouble than is even worth, is you got to create so much success for yourself, create so much of it for yourself, that anybody talking bad about you just doesn't even make sense. It sounds stupid. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that is you do so much on your own. You build up such a resume of your own that if anybody tries to say something negative about you, or tries to say, well, this person ain't shit, this person ain't this person ain't that, or just try to put some mud on your name, anybody who hears it, the first thing they're going to do, they can go look you up or think about your resume, or if they already know who you are, they're going to be looking at the person who's talking shit about you like, yo, that don't even make no sense. Like, do you know what this person has done? They did this, they got this, they got this on their resume. It would just sound silly for somebody to try to trash talk you. It'd be like if I was to make a video right now and try to tell you all the reasons why, if I was trying to say LeBron James is a bust, he's an NBA draft bust, you'd be laughing at me, because you're like, how is LeBron a bust? He did, and you would start thinking of all the things he's done, right? He won this championship, he scored all these points, he did this thing, he did this thing, he did that. You would just start thinking of all the great things he's done, and how it's ridiculous for anybody to try to call him a bust. That's because he's created so much success that you can't really trash him. And you could do the exact same thing yourself. Maybe you won't be as famous as LeBron, but you ain't got to be famous. But to the people who are hearing about you and talking about you, you could be famous in that market, in that pocket, in such a way that nobody can really bash you in that space, because they all know what you've done. They all know what you've achieved. They all know what you've accomplished. So trying to talk bad about you, again, they would feel dumb to even think about it. And they would sound dumb to even say it because you've created so much success. So as the saying goes, the best revenge is massive success. And that's a saying, that's a cliche for a reason. It's because it's based in truth. The more success you create, especially when you create massive success, listen, there's not anything anybody can do to hurt you. There's not anything anybody can do to trash you or make you look bad or, you know, throw mud on your name, because your name is so high up and it's so good. It's like the mud bounces off of it. It's almost like if you put some, I don't know, you get your car washed and you put some of that shiny stuff on it, even if some dirt hits it, it automatically just drops off simply because you got that sheen on you, that positive sheen of success. That's the same thing you could do with yourself in your life. So that's what you do if you want to flood out any negativity coming your way or coming from within, from the inside or from the outside. Create more success. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com.